Okay, hopefully the audio should be good. I've been fiddling with this for way too long. I mean, just all kinds of problems, from just the mic popping all the time, just having really weird volume issues. It is a new mic, it's different from the other one I had. The other one was just like massive and on a stand, and like I'd bump into it all the time just trying to type. So I did get a new mic. Hopefully it's really pretty nice, but yeah, we'll see. It's been kind of a pain getting it set up. Just make sure everything's good, hopefully. I did test with records, but sometimes it's kind of hard to actually judge until it's live. Just waiting to see if I can hear it on my other one. There's a pretty big stream delay. Put it on normal because I'm doing it in 60 FPS, so that's at least, what, 30 seconds? 40 seconds? That's huge delay, okay. Alright. Oh, okay, so this stream is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to be working on ECL lib, but I'm not going to be working on this ECL lib. I have another ECL lib that I'm rewriting that should be a little bit better. I think I talked about it a little bit on my Twitter, but I am working in source code today. Now, I know that DNH released source code. That's not what this is. This is actually something that was, I'm not sure when we first learned about it. This is B-Storm. I've talked about it a little bit. And it's a rewrite-ish? Not really a rewrite, it's like a recreation of Danmakufu by somebody named Neraplum. And they've been working on it for a while, and then they kind of like rewrote it and called it Neo-DNH and tried to combine it with the other one, and that project kind of shut down, unfortunately. I guess you just stopped working on it and lost interest or whatever happened, I don't know. But managed to snag it before it went down, and that's what I'm going to be working in. It was on GitHub for a while, and it actually runs really well compared to Danmakufu. It compiles code a little bit differently, and it's super, super nice. It's, oh my gosh, I love B-Storm. So I've made a little bit of adjustments to this, adding in filter types for shots, so you can have like round shots that aren't aliased, or anti-aliased rather, to the pixels, where a lot of older Zen games did this. And in normal Danmakufu, you have to like basically have a custom shot or use layers and stuff, and it's like a huge mess in order to get it to, or not layers, shaders on certain layers in order to get it to look right, to like mimic that effect. So you can actually set each individual shot to have its own filter, which is cool. I've added a few other things. Interpolation is all in by default now, which is nice. Instead of having all the source or the script interpolation, it was a little bit slower. So I'm really happy to be working in B-Storm. There's a few bugs with it. It's not really ready for like full like distribution. It doesn't run on Wine at all. On Macs, we actually found a new issue where it doesn't play nice with monitors with like high refresh rates. So I got a new 144 Hz monitor, and it actually runs like 144 FPS by default, even though internally it's at 60. It's like it's V-syncing to 144 or something, and it's not keeping up. I managed to kind of get it working with DxTory, so it's overriding the FPS, so now it's at 60. But without it, there's a few just little bugs that need to be ironed out. There's another one where the alpha or the additive blending is a little bit off, which you can fix it with a additive blending over the whole thing. Just very little things, but overall the performance is just substantially better. It doesn't stutter like DNH used to. My old monitor was at like 63 Hz and it would like skip frames. So it was a little bit odd. But anyway, yeah, we're going to be working in source. And full disclaimer, I kind of don't know what I'm doing. The only reason I've gotten this far is I'm just kind of stumbling through and learning as I go, copying things from add pattern, OBJ move add pattern and kind of mimicking how it does things. So far it's working pretty well. I haven't noticed any issues. It's fast. It's pretty easy to alter and modify, so it should be okay. I've added a few ECL instructions, like the speed up for acceleration, speed down for the little deceleration thing that Zun does to slow down shots. So it works. It works really well. It might have some issues. So, let me actually, why did I go off this? Oh, right, extra clicky edition. So, the problem with this mic is that it has to be sitting on my desk. Also, hello, man. I had the stream chat like on my phone, and then my phone was off, so I didn't see it. So, hello. Yeah. So, yeah, this is a mess. This is a huge mess. I don't even want to talk about the keyboard. It's so bad. The mic is sitting, I want to say, from the end of the keyboard, about 1.5 inches. So the keys are going to be very, very loud. I'm sorry about this. I was debating using like a mushy keyboard, a kind of standard cheap one, but I can't bring myself to use those keyboards anymore unless I absolutely have to. We'll see. If it's miserable, I might look into something. I did get O-rings for the mechanical keys, so I've kind of done like everything I could, and they're really not helping. I think it's more the actual click when it goes down than like the deep hitting of the desk, which that was probably loud, I'm sorry. That's causing all of the nonsense, so yeah. We'll see. Anyway, the things I've added, you can set up the shot itself with what used to be this ET set thing and all the ET nonsense. So you can set up the shot itself here with set ET. Now everything has underscores because I don't want to interfere with this. I'm going to keep this until it's obsoleted entirely. But for now it works fine. So I can change this to like blue, not bliss, not blue. I'm going to use dev. Dev's going to run a little bit slow on stream, but I can at least test quicker. Oh, this is the other cool thing about Beaststorm. Those of you who are not familiar, this is the development like interface. So you got like all these little tools. You can reload the script. You can choose which script you want to run. Since I only have my script and then a test thing for players, that's all I have. You can speed up. You can slow down. You're not going to see the speed because of the stream. You can pause. You can frame advance. You can do all kinds of really cool stuff with this development. There's some cool tools. After it loads up, there we go. So you can see all the objects that exist. So if I pause, I can see like all the properties of the shots. Like this one right here, where's this one? That was probably off screen. Let me get a recent one. Okay, here we go. So I can like move the shot over here. And like when I, play, it's like over there now. I added the ECL type here too. You had to modify a little bit of this, but I can change some more values. Like let's make this a different angle. It may or may not work. I don't think it's hooking in. 100. Yeah, there it goes. It's right there. Okay, now it's going that way. So you can kind of like change things, make sure everything's working, make sure your speed values are right. That's pretty cool. See, I really like Beaststorm a lot. Just the power of this editor, and there's a lot more you can do with this too. Hypothetically, with ECL, since the ECL is being stored in an object, there should be an unknown object here somewhere. Here it is. Yeah, so this is actually the ECL storage object. Hypothetically, you could have all of the ECL properties like listed here and like change them and add on to them and like customize the ECL live. And that's kind of like the overall like big goal of the ECL project, which I don't know if I'll ever actually get to that. But it'd be really cool to just open this up, you have an ECL thing, and you can just like create it here and just like customize, like, hey, I need this many shots, or that's too little, or I want them to do this or that. And just all in here. You don't never have to touch this until you're ready to actually like code it in. So that's the big goal. Will it happen? I don't know. Beaststorm is super, super powerful. And what's really cool about all this is I'm not running in debug, but in the debug configuration, you can actually see like the raw compiled code. So Danmakufu, as I understand it, would compile all of this into bytecode, whereas B-Storm uses LUA, so you can actually see like all the LUA code and like how it translates this. It adds a bunch of underscores and all sorts of things. So it actually translates all of your code into LUA code and then puts it in through C++. And that's where I think the biggest performance gain is in the LUA. But you can also see that in here in the debug. There's actually like a code. They may actually kind of be here. Yeah, script cache. So you can kind of see some information about it when it actually compiles in, like how many bytes of code there are and like how many times the script is used. So you can see how massive these are. Another goal with working in source is to cut this down, because I have a lot of functions like ecllib, which is absolutely massive. It's, you know, that long, 112,000, and it's 4,000 lines of code. So all of that would just be cut out of this, and it should increase like a lot of performance. You should see a lot of performance increases. So hopefully if I obsolete this is the big goal. I'll probably keep this and modify it and then release it for like DNH use so you can just like play with it. But the issue with this not being as good as I was hoping is it's slow. LUA is pronounced as a word, so Lua. That sounds weird. I've always said LUA. Okay, Lua. I don't know how I feel about this. This is like a GIF thing. Alright, Lua. Anyway, I might release this so you can use it in DNH, but it was a little bit slow when you're creating like a bunch of shots. And also, these right here, the tasks. So these were actually done in tasks, since you can't, like, there's no add pattern for bouncing off of walls. There's no add pattern for creating shots at frame. There's the, I think it's the OBJ shot, like add shot or whatever. But I think, I never used it, and I think you had to call it for it to actually create shots. So you had to have a task calling that, and it wasn't exactly what I wanted here, where this actually creates new ECL definition shots. And yeah, the tasks are just really slow, and I can hypothetically get rid of those. How can I do that? Classes. So a little bit of a brief explanation on how this works is I still kind of don't understand it myself because I stumble through it. Where's in cat DNH? What is in cat DNH? I'm on about a 30-40 second delay. I probably could change that, but I wanted to stream at 60, so I have a delay, unfortunately. So yeah. But let me see where to start with this, because it's kind of a mess. So there's a list of ECL definitions, which you define here. Like this. So you got to create an ECL object. I could probably get rid of this. Maybe it might be a little bit clunky to like operate, because I'm not really familiar with how to do this. The way Zung gets away with it is every like task that he has in his ECL code, it actually creates its own ECL like storage, so you can always hit ECL definition 0, and it's only going to be within that scope. Add patterns for bouncing off of walls. Oh, okay, cool. You might have to show me how you did that at some point, because I'm not sure how I would do that with add patterns, because I don't really know what I'm doing. That's the big secret here. I have no idea what I'm doing, it just works. A lot of testing and a lot of stumbling, and then it works. I mean, reasonably, I have an idea of what I'm doing. It's just a lot of learning as I go. Like, I had to do a lot of trial and error just to get this. I'm not even sure how I got to it, but it all works. It works really well, it's fast, and I'm very happy with it. Anyway, ECL definition. So what this does is sets up ECL definition 0, and this is the, so definition 0 with the speed and the angle and the shot and all of that. You can then add patterns to it. Like this is just like the other one worked. So SP down will add like another one onto, it basically pushes it onto the back of a list. So the first list, the very first entry is nothing, it's just like the setup, it's the initialization. Then the next entry that gets pushed on is SP down, that's this slowdown when the shot's created, or it kind of goes that. That's one like ECL pattern. From there, you call ET on which definition you want to do, 0, and it creates the shot. This is something else, I'll get with that later. Loop 60 yield, and just creates it over and over, and that's all you have to do to create this little pattern. Whenever you create an ECL pattern, let's see, where's SP down? There it is. So it actually takes from the ECL storage object, which we created is this ECL ID, or this ECL object right here. You pass that into this SP down right here, pulls it in, gets the index of that. It takes that definition list, and then you have to create it a little bit manually, and then ECL def add pattern. Add pattern will actually push a new one onto that list here, which ECL storage add pattern. Did I lose it? Again, I promise I don't know what I'm doing. Just get definition, move object, move object. Oh, it's up here. Okay, add pattern is right here. Just gonna go into here, add pattern. There we go. Pat list push back. It literally just pushes it into a list. Pushes it onto the back. When the shot is created with ET on, it then calls a little bit of a different part in package. So right now I only have the circle form created because there's different styles, like making squares, making like a fan where it's only a partial circle, things like rings, like the Aya and Suaku rings. I have a little thing up here for the different styles I'm going to be implementing. And from there, we can go to definition. Pulls all the values that were stored in the ECL definition in the very first thing. If there's a delay on it, we actually push a new pattern to the front, because whenever the delay happens, in normal DNH, it actually creates all of the delays at the source creation position. So if you create it 0, 0, they're all just going to be at 0, 0. And this is not what Zun does. Zun actually creates them at an offset and moves them to that position. So we push on that new thing if there's a delay, and that's what I've done here. It's not quite Zun accurate yet because Zun has like a interpolation, like a decelerated interpolation on the scale, so it looks a bit different, but the idea is there. It's kind of set up for that. So push the front on the delay ECL pattern, which is called the EFF on. Then it does the circle creation, so for int I, which is the count, and you have the layer, it actually creates the shots. Create shots E1. And create shot E1 is a little bit different from create shot A1 in that it actually sets the ECL shot data. Create ECL shot, and this pulls the ECL data that's stored within the ECL data container. So basically, it's just pulling a bunch of data from classes. Now, those classes actually use this apply pattern right here because they all parent from this ECL pattern to do their thing. So for like, let's say the EFF on where it slows down when it's created. Very, very simple. When it actually goes in, move mode ECL here on move, we'll go through every single frame, look and see where we're at, pattern counter ECL data in, so if we're at the end, because it'll do one of these per frame and then no frame it does, or no wait it does all of them. And that's a whole nother kind of like variable you can throw in there. So the pattern counter, if the pat's not applied, pattern counter, if it's not end, then we're going to apply it. This way we can break out of this loop very quickly. Get the pattern counter point that we're at. If the pattern's complete equals false, so we haven't actually done the transformation yet. If its weight equals true, it actually pushes it to this new no wait section and then moves on so it doesn't keep going. Pat apply. Pat actually holds this ECL pattern. So every frame it goes through and it says, okay, where are we? What's our current timer? Okay, we're here. We're at frame 0. So pat counter is at 0. It's going to set the speed to the speed that it needs to be at. It actually halves the speed of the shot here whenever it's getting created. It then waits as it's going through every frame down here. When it goes to pat complete, it's going to set the speed to where it needs to be by just multiplying by 2, and then set the speed, or I'm sorry, excuse me, set the pattern complete to true. Okay, and then it goes to the next pattern. So because there's no patterns here extra, it's not going to do anything. But if I were to add like SP up, then it's going to go, okay, we're done with that one. Now we're going to go over here, and we're going to apply this. At some point, I don't have random seed because I'm going to have randomization with this, so this will be done later. For now, we're just setting the acceleration that we set in the SP up. Pat counter equals 0, we're going to set the acceleration. If pat counter equals pat time, how long it needs to wait to do it. Then it sets it back to 0, sets pattern complete, moves on to the next one. So it's just a giant list. The ECL definition is just a giant list of these things, of all of these. I have 2 right now, SP up and angvel, that you can really utilize. It just goes through each of them. And whenever you had one that's not supposed to wait, it gets pushed into another array, or another list, that's then run separately. So when it gets done with this one, it then goes to the no wait. And everything in the no wait list is just run. So it doesn't say, oh, well, I've done one, I need to move on. It just keeps going over and over until we're done. Now, when that pattern is done, it actually erases it from the pattern counter. Which, I hope that made sense. It's pretty, like, just having a list of instructions, essentially. Few worries, memory overhead. If I have 1,000 shots with a bunch of patterns, it may be memory intensive. It wasn't performance intensive when I tested it, but I'm not sure. It shouldn't be too bad. I tested a lot with the memory. It really wasn't too bad because it's just data storage classes. I'm not like putting a bunch of stuff in it. But I could probably cut down a little bit on storage in that every shot holds the entire like pattern array or the pattern list. I could probably just have it pull from the like ECL object if you like each group pulls from an object, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be a mess either way. It sounds like Zun uses if-else statements to do this or the same thing, but that seems really annoying and very messy. Not that this seems any cleaner, but it's a little bit easier to like think about for me because I just, okay, here's all I need for this. So if I want to make another one, I just copy paste and then modify it and make sure that it's all added here. So, okay, where to start with the code today? I think I might start with trying to make some of the styles for the etion, because the actual patterns that I want to add are a little bit fancy. I've done the simple ones, the SPF and the angvel. Now I have these ang mods, which basically, whenever Zun uses this, he has like a counter on it. Based on the counter, it has different actions. So if the counter is like 1, let's say your ang mod value is set to modify the angle by 50. So it'll go and over however many frames you give it, like over 60 frames, it'll slow to a stop, apply the ang mod, so add 50 to the frame, and then it'll go in a speed that you set. Now if your counter is multiple, it'll do that multiple times. So like, it'll slow down, change 50 frames, and then slow down again, and then change 50 frames, and slow down again, and change 50 frames if you have it done like 3 times. All of these will do the same thing, except relative will just add on to the angle that you have. Absolute sets the exact angle, and then aimed will actually aim it at the player, and then add or subtract the angle. Reflect is going to be wall bouncing. Orbit is going to be the that cool one, like where the Byakuran spell card, where like this little cards, little amulets, go around like a center point with a little ring around it. Also, I think it was used in stage 4 of Touhou 17. Of just those little circle shots that kind of get bigger and smaller, the radius. That's going to be a fancy one. I'm probably not going to get to that one, because I'm going to have to create a whole nother like class and stuff to modify. Like this is going to have to create the main parent object, and that's going to have to create shots that go around it. It's going to be fun. ET on border is going to call an ECL ET on instruction when the shot hits the frame. Whatever frame you give it, whether it be top, bottom, left, right, or all of the above, or just a few of those. Frame will create an ET on ECL definition on a certain frame, or every frame for however long. Delete will create shots when the shot is deleted. Pattern delete will just delete the shot, if you ever need to do that. And then delete with object will set a parent object, and when that object is deleted, it'll delete the shot. I think Touhou 8 made use of this quite a bit. A few other add patterns. You have armor. ECL pattern armor is essentially spell resist, so bombs won't affect the shot for X amount of frames. Not out is anything outside of the border. It won't auto-delete when it leaves the game screen for X amount of frames. Blend will set the blend type. Graphic instant, this will just instantly change the graphic as soon as it's called. And the graphic EF on will actually play the delay effect and then change the graphic. So it'll act like a new delay and then change the graphic, but all while the shot is still alive. Add pattern or ECL pattern SE will just play a sound effect. Wait will just wait before it does the next instruction, and then loop will define an instruction to hop back to. So when it gets to the end, it'll go to loop, it'll hop back a certain area and just do the whole thing over and over again. So like those kind of DNA style shots in the middle of, or in the first stage of subterranean animism, You can just loop it over and over instead of doing like the ridiculous thing I did where you have to call it like 50 times and add a ton of add patterns. That's actually pretty slow. So yeah, that's all of these. I don't know how much I'm going to get to tonight because it's already 8:30 and I have to be at work at 5 a.m. to get up. So this is going to be interesting. I don't know how long I'm going to get. I may try to at least do the Ang mods today, and then maybe next week I can stream again. I say that and then I'm going to stream 2 years from now. So we'll see. We'll see what I get to. Alright, I'm going to take inventory and figure out what I did here for the Ang mod. Okay. So essentially, there's the repeat array, type, frame, repeat, angle, speed, and the SE. I'm not going to worry about the SE right now. That's going to be a whole nother ballpark. Repeat, greater than 0. I use set Z to do random variables. We're going to add a pattern for the change. That's the deceleration to slow it down to 0. Because that's the initial speed. Because I remember you can't do the speed up when the shot's created, or the... Yeah, you can't do the speed up when the shot's created in DNH without it, like, screwing up the speed. You have to have, like, a storage for the initial speed. It's so dumb. Alright. Frame helper plus frame, because frame helper is magical. Ascent array, add pattern, speed, angle. This actually sets it to 0. We then set the initial speed again because we've modified it. Add pattern SE to do the actual transformation. Repeat equals 0. Just the same thing. Okay. Let me pull up my ECL reference. Is it in Firefox or is it in Chrome? I think it might be in Chrome. Yes, it's in Chrome. Let me pull up the Chrome. Hold on. I actually have like a reference sheet of all of the Toho 11 409 instructions. I need to go reference that. Is everything working? No, something's... What is this? What am I moving? Oh, it's Chrome. Okay, get out of here. This is SA. No, that's not it. ECL. ECL 10? No, that's something else. Where the heck did I put it? Uh-oh. Did I lose my spreadsheet? Okay. Okay, real sheets. .409 table. Oh, okay, I was getting the complete wrong, like a lookup. Load. Okay, here we go. Okay. And there's a stream. Alright. I do have it muted. I do have it muted. I should have checked that a long time ago. Okay, so here's all the 409 instructions in Toho 11. This is the one I'm going to do here. Deploy speed linear from speed to 0 over frame frames. Adds angle plus to the shot's current angle. If I miss a loop, shot will accelerate on the final loop. We'll still change its angle. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to copy... I'll just copy angle. And we're going to do it over angle relative. ECL pattern. This needs to be this. Okay, I have is weight, pattern, I need the time, and the angle. I'm going to need... What's my need? That's the frame it does it on, which is going to be actually time. I'll make this ang mod. I'm going to need the in speed and the repeat. I'm going to do int repeat. And then I'm going to need float. Oops. That's speed. Speed, okay. And of course, you're not going to be defined. So look over here. Actually, move this to a new. Where is it? Vertical tile group. Extend that over. Okay. CPP on the angle. Let's go ahead and copy this. It's going to be ang mod relative. Push it off ang-vel, so we need to do ang mod. This is going to need more values, so we're going to do ang mod. Underscore new speed. Oh, let me move this back over. A little bit of a mess today. Magic Frame Helper's been in the cat server code channel, isn't it? It might be. I will look later. I made a chance. Angmod relative. Angmod is Angvel. I'm gonna need speed right here. New speed. I'm also gonna need repeat. That needs to be this. Put here, int. Alright. So, okay. When it starts... Okay, think about this. This is kind of a mess. When it starts, it's going to need to slow down to 0 if we have enough of repeat. So if the repeat... I'm going to need to add some blocks here. Should I do a switch or if else's? I'll probably just do if else's. If repeat... Did I do 0 in the ECL part? There is a repeat 0. It actually just changes it immediately. Maybe it's greater than 0, decel. So it does accelerate. And then it loops here. That's fixed. Let me get out of fixed. Let me go to the right one. Relative. Because yeah, that's what I did here. That's what I'm going to do on the main one. So if type relative... Alright, if repeat is greater than 1, I don't care. Let's do repeat 0 first. This is the bottom of the else. Repeat argument should not be less than 0, so it does start at 0. It's just immediately going to set the speed angle. Okay. I'll go ahead and start this if here. That's not what I wanted to do. Hello. Throw all this under here. Pat repeat. And let me figure out what I'm doing here. Alright. If the pattern repeat is 0, if pat counter is equal to 0, it's going to just set the speed and angle. So we're going to do ECL mode set speed. This is going to be the speed. ECL mode set angle. It's going to need to get the angle first. So can I do an add angle? I can just add an add angle. Let me just do that. This is what's nice, I can just add a new thing. I gotta find it first. So here's the set angle. And then I'm going to make a new part of this. And do add angle. Get out of here, fly. These are little fly everywhere. I freaking hate these things. Alright. Main angle is being set immediately to that, so I honestly could just do plus equals whatever angle you give it. I'll change this just to set it apart. Just like that. And now we should be able to just do add angle. Good mod. And that needs to not be Angvel. I need more screen space. I have a 27-inch monitor, I need more screen space. Right here. And then we're going back to this thing. Angmod relative. This is why I shouldn't take too long to do these things. Okay. This is why. It's compatible, there's no overloading, everything's good. That should be all I need to do for pat repeat 0. If it's not that, it's just not going to do anything. I'll actually have it set complete to true, just so it breaks out. Oh, don't do that. Don't ever do that, autocomplete. Alright. Now I need to go to API, I need to add a new... this thing here. It's current. Actually, let me get one that has values in it. Like this one. semi-important because I don't know where my stuff is. Wait, time. Cast up float. Okay. EX. This is going to be. I'm just going to call it Engmod for now. Is wait. I'm going to need. Is it time? I need the Engmod. Of course, my value set up in ECL. Needs to mimic this. ECL, there's the type, the index, frame. Well, I have the wait function here too. So we're gonna do array. This is like ECL. This is the pattern. We'll do like a repeat of 0, angle. How about we just add 30, speed will be 2, and then that's not going to be used. Now frame. This is what frame to do it on. Now this is actually going to be the timer. So we'll do like 60 frames. Alright, so time. This will be the... I'm going to make that. I'm already losing myself. That's the repeat. So I don't want to do late streams. I'm so tired. I get up at 5. I'm like, ugh. The bracket placement. Yeah, it's killing me. Ugh. Repeat. Angmod. And the speed. I think that looks good. Oh, actually, speed should go before Angmod. Just to be consistent, because create shot A1 is like speed angle, not angle speed. So we need is wait. Time is going to be time. Speed and the angle. So it's going to be 6, and it's going to be 5. And speed. And then we need to float speed it as well. I don't know why I have to do this. I was running into issues when I wasn't casting it to float before. It was just doing weird values with ints. Even though normally this like 2 num thing was like working fine. Because you would make it a double. Like everywhere else you don't have to do float. Like I don't know what Narrow did. But like the double is working as a float. It's really weird. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just doing something wrong, but this works and then it's okay. Okay, we got this last one. That's the randomization, right? What is that? Yeah, that's the random acceleration, so I don't need that. Even though that will eventually be there. And this needs to be the Angmod relative. Give me an error. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's best PO. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have wait, time, and the repeat. I forgot the repeat. Repeat. 5, 6, and 7. Wait, time, repeat. Okay, and that should work. I'll put it down here in the API. Oh yeah, these O's. Okay. I should explain the O. So, one thing I don't know how to do, at least not effectively, without having like huge variable bloat on functions, is overwriting an ECL pattern. So say I want to, like I have SP up, and it's, you know, increasing acceleration by like 0.5. If I want to at some point overwrite that, so like every time it creates a shot at like the next shots accelerate faster, I have to overwrite in the main ECL like storage container that value. In order to do that, you have to like modify the list. Now I may have to use vectors. I may have to switch over to vectors because there's no like random entry access in a list. You actually have to iterate through the list. And overwrite just tells what entry in the list to actually overwrite. Because if you just say like this, it's just going to push it to the back. I could have a thing in there to tell where to put it, but then you'd have to keep track of that. And I feel like that's a lot. Because you'd have to be like, oh, when you're making the code, you'd have to like add another one of these things. So like you have this, the definition, and you'd have to like the place where it goes, right? So like SP down, you'd have to be like 0, 0. And like SP up, you'd have to do, you know, 0, 0, and then the acceleration. And then if you want another, well, that's actually, that couldn't be 0, that has to be 1, and like that has to be 2 if you want to do, you know, another SPF to slow it down. And then you want to add like an angvel, you want to change the angular velocity. Now you got to put 3 in here, and it starts getting really messy. So I have this alternative where you just hit O, underscore O, and then you change where to put it, so you don't have all this nonsense. So if I wanted to like overwrite, you know, like down here, like every time before it creates one, it like overwrites this one. So this is 0 and this is 1. You do like SPF underscore O. You'd want to overwrite 1, and then there's your thing you overwrite it with. So, you know, make it faster, so you'd have like a, oh, let SL equal 0.05. So then you do this, that. And then down here, you know, you do SL minus equals 0.01. So now, like, it's just going to modify that value every time with the O, instead of having to add this nonsense in every time, keeping track of where you are, where you're putting stuff. Even though that's how the decompiled ECL works, it doesn't look like Zun does this. It looks like he has some sort of way to override it. I don't know what he does. There's no uncompiled code that like we know of that we can actually view it and see how he does it. So I don't know. For now, that's the solution, is using an overwrite. It's a little bit clunky, but I mean, just add an O and then you just add next to the thing where to put it. It'll give you an error if you put it in the wrong place. But that's a little bit hard to keep up with too. So I don't know. The alternative is you do that, but when you create the ECL like instruction, or the ECL storage object, it has to create like a bunch of blank IDs that are just like placement holders, because then you can actually like inject stuff into places. That's the other issue too, is like if you don't have a 0 and then you don't have a 1 and then you don't have a 2, if you just go like accidentally straight to 5, like what would happen? Like, I don't know. It could probably just skip everything that's blank and just go to 5. It feels very odd to do that. So that's why I kind of don't want to do that. I just want to like make it as simple as possible. Just overwrite it if you need to overwrite it. Most of the time you won't need to. Well, actually, a lot of times you will need to. But if you know this, I don't know. See, this thing, I don't know. It's like there's pros and cons either way. It's like easy until you have to modify. But if you don't have to modify, then it's more complicated for no reason. So like, I don't know. I'll think about it. It's easy to modify at least. I got the source code. I'm not like, you know, I have control over it, which is nice. Just whichever way I decide to do it. Anyway. Angmod. There are 7 values. The way you count this actually determines how many variables there are in the function for DNH. So if you have too many or too less, it'll push an error at you if you don't meet this value. I wonder if there's a way to overload functions. That would be kind of cool. Excuse me. There might be a way to overload functions by like messing with this. But I don't know how to do that. That would be super useful though, because then I wouldn't need the O. I could just have at the end, you just add where to inject it, right? But for now, let me try to make sure that's right. So that is 7 compared to this bookmark. If you have O, you just look right here at the last one, we got 7, so we're good. Make sure that's right. This is probably gonna give me an error. Well, I'm still kind of like relearning what I did. We make this a shared pointer, angmod relative, push all this to it, add the pattern, return 0. Okay, let's test it out. Come into here, and we're gonna add angmod CL J, and we're gonna do 0, and we're gonna make the angle 30. We're gonna set the speed to 2. We also do a timer, 60. It's not gonna be relevant right now because I don't have it slowing down. Repeat of 0. That should add 30 to the angle, and then set the speed to 2, which it's already at 2, so we're not going to see a change, as I'll make it 1.5. It's off topic, but I like the info panel on your stage right now, thank you. It's very useful when testing like camera stuff, especially in like the debug camera. Let me see. Let me see if I can demonstrate this. I get off topic a lot. That's just kind of what makes this. So I do that, and then I refresh it, Oh, it's gonna be an error. This doesn't exist. Hold on. Yeah, it doesn't exist. What are you talking about? Oh. See there, that's where it gets that number. Okay, I didn't run it. Oh, whatever. Anyway, you can control the camera with like the WASD keys. If I was in stage 0, but I'm not in stage 0, so it's not doing it. But yeah, you can actually see the focus and all that. That's why I have that, because the hardest thing about doing 3D is figuring out where the camera is. At least in my opinion. Alright, let's build. Let's see how slow the build's gonna be, because I have a stream going. So far, it's not too bad. Oh, wait. My bad. I should close the thing. Let's try that again. I just recently changed this. Where we copy paste the 2 EXEs that I made and just push them in. Succeeded 3 up to date. Why didn't it do Beastorm? Oh, because it wasn't open. Duh. Alright. Make sure it runs, then I'll uncomment the thing. Okay, it's a little bit slow. It wasn't slow last time. I'm really just going to chalk that up to streaming, because this is usually fine. Like, I didn't do anything to make it slow, it's just the way it is. Alright, uncomment. Refresh. Number of arguments. Past 6, expected 7. Alright, what did I do wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is wait, time, repeat. What did I miss? I'm missing a lot. I am so scattered. 2, 3, 4, 5? Is wait, time, repeat, new speed, anymore. Is wait, time, repeat, new speed. Is wait, time, repeat. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going, we have the time. I should just do this. Object ID index is wait. I forgot is wait. See, that's still new to me too. I'm not really working with is wait a whole lot. Or at least I wasn't before. And that comes right here, so... no wait? Is that what I called it? EX no wait, okay. Actually, that does need to wait. I'm gonna do it. Where am I? Here I am. EX wait. Alright. Now we should be good. Let's try that again. Oh, geez. Okay. How fast is that? That's insane. It's setting the speed to 30, isn't it? Where am I? Here I am. The speed here. Okay, set speed, and then add angle. Add angle mod. That would be an issue too. I don't know why I did that. We shouldn't actually need that. The pattern is being set to new speed, which is way over here. Because that looks like 30 speed. It's the last 2 speed angle. Okay. Very speed. Add angle mod. Okay. Did I mess up add angle? Someday I will learn what I'm doing in Source. Oh man. I feel like the best way to learn is just to jump right in. Like, you don't get anywhere if you're sitting here just not doing anything, so... Yeah, MV angle. Just adds on. That should be fine. I'm not casting it incorrectly, am I? Those are both floats. Okay, too numb, too numb. Time repeat. It should be fine. Did I do this wrong? Aha. Speed and angle. Aha. So it was actually, it looks like it was adding, so those are a little offset. Hey, look at that. Okay, we got pattern 0. Alright, now we gotta add the others. The others are gonna be, where it's gonna be a little bit complicated. It's gonna have to count how many iterations it's been through, and it's gonna have to wait. It's gonna have to, like, decelerate the speed. So I'm thinking I'll probably just set deceleration. We're gonna try to, like, interpolate the speed or something ridiculous. Although I could do that. I don't need to do that. Because we can do a lot of things on pattern 0. I have to knock my headphones off. Okay. Okay, so we'll do 1. Because 1's gonna be the easiest. We're gonna now make this else if. I'm gonna come up here, we'll do if. Pattern repeat is, let me reference my old code again. We're gonna decelerate, throw it. Do we even mess with repeat? Where does repeat change? It is the ascent loop. See, this is the other issue, because it's a function, so it's going to do this over everything in a task. Oh, no. This is add pattern. Okay. This is so, like, jank. I barely remember what I did on this. It's just, this is another reason I want to get away from this. It's just like what? These just add a bunch of patterns to it with the frame helper, which enters the frame. Okay. So, if the repeat is greater than 0, how is this different? The ascent loop. Otherwise, it just does 1. Because it's going to decel and then move and finish. Otherwise, this is going to accel, move, then finish. Okay, got it. Copy that. If pattern repeat is greater than 0. Let's get these in here. I'm going to need a counter for how many repeats we've done. I already have a pack counter, which is here in ECL pattern. So I'm going to need a new one. Like a local counter. Like count. And we're going to set this up here. To be 0. Because it's going to need to wait until it's the same as the repeat. So repeat is 2. It'll start at 0, do 1, and then it'll do another, and if it's at 2, then it'll come down here and do this part. Think about the flow of this. It's because it's not going to work like the add pattern, because the add pattern all it's literally doing is shoving instructions onto. It's basically doing what the ECL does, just in its own way. So this is actually running through it. If pattern repeat is greater than 0, okay. Pattern counter is equal to 0. This is the actual. I could use this because I'm gonna need to check and see if the local counter is equal to repeat to ensure that it's done. I need another if, I think. think I need to do if... Oh, that's this right here. It can kick out. Should I just modify the repeat value? Because it's going to apply it. It's going to come in... Let me do this. Let me go ahead and add the last part of this. Greater than 1. Okay. Let's say repeat is 2. So it's gonna slow down, move, slow down, and then move again. So that's 2 modifications. If it's here, the first thing it needs to do is set the speed and angle. Excuse me, jeez. It's going to need to set the speed and angle. It needs to start decelerating. Actually, it needs to start decelerating. I need to get all these pat completes. These are going to kill me. Okay, it needs to start decelerating. When it gets to 0, or when the timer is done, because it has this time. Counter is less than pat time. Counter plus plus equals to pat time. Maybe I don't need these repeats. Maybe you can just do it right here. I'm gonna still have to check the repeat value to see if it's going to, you know, slow down or not. Because if it's at 0, then it doesn't slow. It just goes. If it's higher, then it needs to slow down until it gets to 0. Then it doesn't slow down. I might be able to do it with just that. If pattern counter is equal to 0, then you would check the repeat. If repeat is greater than 0, then you slow down. You initiate, like you do like auto, you do set speed, or you do set acceleration, which is you do the speed divided by your time, which, yes, I think, yeah, you could do that. Okay, you could do the time, and I may need to add another value. I need a piece of paper. I need to write this down. I don't have any paper. Okay, I'm not going to get a good paper. Let me look at my code again. This is... I want to make sure I get this right the first time. I don't know why I did this. If repeat is greater than 1... This seems excessive. I think I'm just confusing myself with how this is set up. Because it's going through and then it's adding the last one. And then it's done. If it's just 1, then it just does that. That's why it's doing that. I don't think I need that. I really don't think I need that. Let me play around. Drafting code on paper, yeah. We had to do that in school. We had to write pseudocode on paper. It was the dumbest thing, because it's like... first we were doing Java. They wanted us to write out, like, class pseudocode on paper. And it was awful, because they wanted you to, like, use brackets and indent and everything, and good luck indenting on scratch paper, like, and doing it smoothly. Like, you need a ruler and a line. It's awful. I know a lot of people use, like, pseudocode on paper, but I can't do it. It looks too messy. I usually just jump in, and this is why I synchronous Derek code for 30 years. Pat time. What this needs to do is if... There's gonna be so much conditionals. There's gonna be so many conditionals. Okay. If repeat. If pattern repeat is greater than 0, else. If it is equal to 0. Why did I do that? What am I doing? Okay. It needs to set the speed, and then it actually needs to instantly complete. So this might actually need to be down here. It's going to increase the counter. This will be pat complete, and this is going to if to 0. Ah. Please. Okay. Add angle. Mod. So if it's 0, we got to the last one and we're done, then it's going to set it and then it's going to be complete. If I draft code, my pseudocode looks like DNH. Same. I do everything in DNH style, like lets, functions, tasks, like it makes so much sense. Easy, like DNH just sets up everything so well. And then we're gonna do else if. This is going to be if the pattern repeat. Well, it just needs to be else. We're gonna set the speed there, and we also need to set acceleration to the pattern speed divided by pattern time. We also need to set pattern counter. Well, could I just set pattern counter? Well, hold on. This should set pattern counter to 1. Because when it comes, it's going to just go here. Meanwhile, that's the... Because if I do 0, it's going to run this again. Otherwise, I may just set it to 0 here. I'm trying to think of how the frames would work, because if you set it to 0 here, this frame isn't going to do anything. It's going to have to wait a frame before it gets back up here. So I think I just set it here and set pattern counter to 1, because it essentially needs to go right back to here as soon as this is done. So I'm going to set that to 1. We'll test it out. Not 2. Not D. There we go. 1. Pattern speed divided by pattern time. So it'll hit 0. But I need to do it here too. So this needs to be up here. If pattern repeat is 0, it actually just needs to go straight to pat time. Because it's going to go right here. I mean, I guess I could just... I'm trying to this is a mess. Let me try this. This may or may not just work. Because timer, if the time is 0, it's just gonna happen. It's gonna be instant. So the time is irrelevant if the repeat is 0, because it doesn't need to slow down. If it's 1, then it does need to slow down, so it must wait. So it really needs to start at 1. Or, well, it can't do anything here. But it does. That's going to be 1. Okay. Pattern repeat. Else. Pattern repeat minus equals 1. Or is minus minus. Something like that. Okay. So, to run through, okay, frame starts, repeat is 1. Goes here. Goes here. Sets the speed and the acceleration. Actually, can't do that. This has to be get speed. Then we're gonna do the speed because it's not gonna actually go to 2 and then divide it. It's gonna be whatever it is. It's gonna divide it there. Okay, it's going to slow down, it's going to wait here, and then it's going to get here. Repeat is 1, so it's going to run this else. It's going to set the speed to pattern speed. Needs to add the angle. We'll do the speed part first, and then we'll do the angle underneath. Set the pattern counter to 1. Repeat minus minus. Repeat is now 0. It's going to come right here, because it's not going to hit 0. It's going to wait. When it gets done, it's going to come back in here. Repeat is 0, set the speed, add the angle, pattern complete true. It should work, question mark. Alright, let's test it. First let me just modify this before I forget. Create stage. That's our time. This is our repeat. I'm gonna do 5. I'm gonna set this to 1. I'll make this like 20. Angle modification will be 20. I'm gonna increase that to 2 seconds. And now we build. I think the logic is correct. It should be correct. It's a lot simpler than I was planning on doing, at least how I did here in this nonsense. Oh, I should close EXE. Oh, I'm gonna have to get used to that. Why is that marked? Get out of here. Okay. Okay, it did nothing. Why did it do nothing? I really don't need this look counter anymore, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Pattern counter, L speed, get speed, set acceleration. Is it even... Does it work at 0? Okay, it's doing weird things. Let me go through the logic again, because it's not working. Let me get my variables. So I have time of 20. I have a repeat of 0. I have an ang mod of 20 and acceleration, or a speed of 1. Yeah, it's very difficult to debug nothing. Like, I don't know what's happening because nothing is happening. But something's wrong. So if the repeat is 0... Oh. Okay, I found an issue here. If it's 0, it does not need to do this. If pattern repeat is greater than 0, that should be equal, right? Okay, that's probably where the issue is. I wasn't thinking there. That should be 0. So if repeat is 0, comes here, sets it to time, then right down here it hits this if, does this, sets it complete. If it's not 0, that does this. Increases counter. Okay. Okay, let's try that again. I think that's the issue. Because it was greater than 0 is setting it to pat time, and then it was just doing nothing because it was just complete. So actually it wasn't even breaking out because it was coming... Where's my mouse? It was coming down here. It was literally coming down here and then just... Like, I guess it was never actually hitting anything. Mouse. I need to add trailing slashes to my build path. Okay, it's at 0. Do I have the speed set as the same thing? Is that why I can't see any changes? Oh man. If pattern repeat is 0, set it to pat time. If the repeat is 0, go here, set complete. It's not doing that. is doing nothing. Okay. Let me add a few to this. Try 4. See if one path works, I mean, that's nice, but... Okay. It's working, but I have the wrong thing set. I just realized I did... This isn't negative. This needs to be negative. I think I can do that. Actually, would it be easier to just do negative L speed? Because actually it needs to slow down, not speed up. But that part's working. It's actually changing like the angle. Because like if I make that, you know, 60, then it's gonna start accelerating a whole bunch. It's actually waiting 60 frames before it does anything. It's not even accelerating. Interesting. Okay. Let me rebuild. And actually, let me look at it. You said acceleration. No, that's just so little. Maybe because it's just so little. Yeah, let's try that. Oh man, it's already 9 o'clock, jeez. I'll try to go for 2 hours. I'll try to hit 2. I think that's a good, like, time point. Normally I go for like 5 or 6, but I physically should not. I could, but I physically should not. Like I said, I gotta get up at 5 a.m. and it's already 9 p.m. And I got stuff to do tomorrow at work that I need to be awake for, so... No 6-hour stream. Yeah, I've just been like super busy lately. I wouldn't say busy the past couple of years, as it's been 2 years since I've freaking streamed, but it's been busy. Hopefully I can stream more. Like, I know I say that, and then 2 years later I stream again, but like... I guess if there's... Right now, I'm trying to get like a comfortable stream, because the issue before was like... It was this whole ordeal. I had to set up... this like... red box, like this music thing that I got. It's like a... I forget what it's called. It's been so long since I've even seen that thing. It's basically an input-output box for microphones. And I got it with my school program to use my microphone with. And it's this giant microphone on a stand that I had to put on my like sliding tray. It got in the way of everything. So if I wanted to like type, like my setup was basically me like wrapping around this giant microphone stand, struggling with this giant cable and everything. It's just like a stage mic, you know, one of those big ones. And like, oh, it was horrible. I had to have my headphones on and everything, and it's like, it's this whole setup. It's like, you have to get ready for it. It's this whole, like, ritual, getting ready for the stream. So, like, I don't want to do that. I think if streaming is either I just sit down and push a button, it might be better. That's kind of what I have now. I don't have headphones on. I have music playing from, like, it's really soft in the background. Hopefully you can't hear it through the mic, because that was one of the things I was struggling with. It's like, I want to listen to music but not have my headphones on. That was, like, the hardest thing to do here. Because I just want comfortable, and previously it was not comfortable. Right now it's pretty good. Ooh, there it goes. Perfect. It works. Look at that. It's slowing down just as it needs. And then it stops. Okay, that's not working correctly. Okay. Where's the issue there? Pattern repeat is 0. Let me set. Now that we're done with the 12 soundtrack. That was, no, 12? Okay, 17. Hello. I'm just gonna shuffle now. I want to listen to the whole thing. Alright. Why didn't that work? So it got down here and it didn't set the speed and angle, it just set it to 0. Am I modifying patch speed anywhere? No. Works-ish. Works-ish is not works. It's gonna come here, because it doesn't do this again after, if the pattern repeat is greater than 1, it comes here, does this, sets it to 1 so it doesn't do this again, minus its repeat. If it's equal to 0, set the speed, add the angle, complete the pattern. It's doing this, but it's not doing this. Why? Discord, can you not do that? Can you not do that? Thank you. No, I don't want any of this. Go away. That's fine. Okay, that's fine, computer. I don't mind that. Let me clear this. This is starting to lag. Two. Yeah, get out of here. My backup save location has been revealed in case I lose everything or Dropbox gets destroyed in a fire. I still have all my files. Okay. So let's see what happens. Let me grab a shot. Which shot is this? Oh, I need render. Okay, hold on. That shot. I don't want that shot. Too far down. Where's one with a good angle? I can see the angle. Let's see. Oh, I don't want to open all of these. 191. It should be the first one. That's gonna be at angle 0. I'm basically trying to see, like, where this thing is and how it's... Okay, this one right here. Let's put it, like, right here. Let's see how the values are getting modified. And now it's stuck at 0. It still has acceleration on it. Interesting. So it's not... I need to maybe set the acceleration to 0. Ooh! That's what's happening. I got it. The acceleration is not being set to 0. Aha. Gotcha. Just to be perfect here. At least more organized. Speed, and I got to do the speed stuff first and then the angle. Just style stuff. That should work. That should work. Let's close this. Build. Solution. So that's why that debug stuff is super nice. I'm sitting here like, I don't know what's going on. Just change the speed to up a little bit and it slows right back down to the min speed of 0 and it's like, there it is. I don't know. Oh, you gotta set it back to 0. Thank you, dev mode. Clutch dev mode. Alright. It's building pretty quickly, despite the stream being up, so that's good. I was worried it would take like 1.5 to 2 minutes. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was 5 transformations. What do we make our value? 4. So I need to do... I actually need to set that to -1 when it gets passed down. Or I could just do... I guess just for cleanliness, I should set it as early as possible. So as soon as that thing's pulled in, I should set it to -1, as opposed to like doing it here. Because it wouldn't affect anything anyway if I did it like here. Actually, I should do it here because then it's going to actually put it in the main ECL. And I wouldn't have to do math 50 times, so I should do it here. So yeah, there we go. Okay, that works. The next one is going to be super easy. Oh, here's the other thing I need to do. Style. I need to add a style to this. So we're going to add some new constants. ECL constant. We'll do ints, of course. What should I call this? What did I call it before? I didn't, because they were individual instructions, I think. No, there's a type. Type fixed, relative, and aimed. Okay. Alright. So type fixed equals 0. Type relative equals 1. Type aim. Aimed equals 2. And this will be type relative. So if we come in here in API, we'll do it right here. If we're going to do object index is weight and then the style. Do to bool, I'm sorry, to int. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why are you a finger? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Before I forget, come right down here. Set the ang mod to 8. And then we do style. Should I just call it type? Let's just be not like completely weird here. Type is type relative. Else if redundant else if, but else if because I may have more in the future, maybe. I don't know, probably not. Well, actually, this is going to be type fixed. And this is going to be type aimed. This will determine what thing we push. Will this work? Is that still in scope? It isn't. Okay, so I'll just do this then. Alright, since that's not called, we'll do that. We're about to do this, so angmod underscore fixed. And it's going to use the exact same variables, except this is just going to be straight angle. Though I'm still going to call it angmod because of that. It's going to be the same value. Alright. And now for angmod relative, I call it absolute here. I'll call it fixed because that's what I did before. Just like that. Go over here. And we're just going to copy paste all of this right above. Angmod fixed. Okay, is it just me or does this song play all the time on these streams? I feel like this just plays all the time, even when I'm just like testing or listening to music or whatever. This is like the favorite song of Winamp. It plays all the time. I don't know why. I feel like I've heard it 4 million times. It's not a bad one by any means, but you get a little more creative, Winamp. Okay. This is not going to add angle. This is actually just going to set angle. That's the only difference. Of course, this isn't going to be quite as interesting because it is fixed, so you really won't use the, like, repeat. It does. See? I'm not crazy. I don't know. It loves it. That's all it's going to do. It's just going to set the angle. Now... Is that really... I feel like it... We could just do 1. Does it need to slow down if it's 0? I'm thinking. I'm trying to think, like, what if you wanted to, like, okay, slow down and go to 0, and then start a new angmod pattern loop? The issue is if you set it to 0, is it going to decelerate? Let me test it. Let me just see. I can't remember if I determined that or not. I think it's just going to set it as soon as it gets to it. Oh, no, because it's now doing -1. So now you have to do 1 or 2. What? Did I do the wrong one? No? Oh boy. Okay, I'm not done yet. I am not done. Okay. Let me see. Logic loop again. It's gonna go straight here. It just straight sets it. So I need to have 1 if it is 1. Oh yeah, because it comes here and it repeats. So maybe I need to add another if here? That's gonna do that. I hate autocomplete in brackets. Please. Oh, please. Oh, fine, I'll just... I need to turn this off. If at repeat 0 to 0. Then we are just going to do pat complete goals 1. True, rather, sorry. Although that'd probably still work. Else pat counter equals 1, and it's going to go through the whole thing again. So maybe build. Apparently not. It works. Oh, maybe it doesn't. Hold on. Did I forget it? It's generating that code. Let's go. There we go. Oh, there we go. Nice job. Okay. Wrong number. Oh, oops. Reset the type. Right here. Type, relative, L. Alright. Slow down. Slow down. Okay. Okay. If pattern repeat equal to 0, because it's still doing -1. So now it's at 0, so it's doing this. Okay, let me get rid of that -1 nonsense. Or actually, instead of doing that, let me just test it with 2. And just pretend that's 1 after a rebuild. Okay, I think I know what's going on. Not setting the acceleration to 0. Somewhere I'm not setting the acceleration to 0. So, should I move this to here? That I'm not double setting it. Okay. And while we're at it, we're going to get rid of this -1. That's an API right here. Oh, I don't want to unpin. Pin it. Okay. This should work. So that 400 times this should work. Like 4 million asterisks at the end of it. Disclaimer, it probably won't work. Okay, yeah, because it's the acceleration just wasn't getting set. It hopefully with that if statement, because now I'm checking to see if it's done or not. If it's done, it should just do the setting of the speed and angle and then just not set the acceleration. Okay. Now I did make it 2, so I should do it twice. Okay, so I did it twice. Perfect. Set it back to 1. There we go. Okay, I did it. Now I'll try to set it to 0. What happens? Will it just not do anything? Where is my... Okay. I need to put this somewhere I can click on it. If it doesn't do anything, then that's okay. I can always add like a throw log or whatever. Okay, yeah. So if it's 0, it's just not going to do anything. It can always push a little warning here saying like, oh, SP or angmod should not be 0, nothing will happen. Okay, so we're in good order. It works. It's perfect. Now I should copy all this again. To the fixed version. And how much that grew too, like that added so many lines. So yeah, the idea is, like, I got that thought because if you just do fixed with a repeat of 4, it's just gonna go in whatever direction you set it in. It's not gonna be very interesting. I think I wonder if I could have like a flip, like maybe an angmod, like flip. This would be interesting. So like a new angmod where it's like the relative version, where it changes the angle, but after it does 1 and you have it do it again, it reverses it and does it like the opposite direction. So you kind of get like a zigzag pattern, which we've seen before. I think it was 10 Desires, stage 5, with little arrows from the mid-boss. Doing that, but all in one ECL, instead of having to do, oh, angmod relative, and then a chain of like 50 of them in the list. I'll probably do that at some point. That's a good idea. Anything to just improve performance. Call flip. Or ping pong. That's fair, I suppose. Same with some of these others, like Angvel. At one point I had an Angvel OSC for like oscillation. It would go back and forth between the two. And the reason I did that is because like those DNA shots, it's like, well, I could just do the Angvel 20 times in a row, or I could just have it oscillate and do this. So it just adds a new task that just does it. When it's done, it reverses it however many times you tell it to reverse. Alright, so fixed. Let me just make sure it all is going to work. Try to copy all this. Oh, I don't have to touch this because this is just here. But I do need stuff here. This is all good. Set angle, set angle. Okay. So now for the fixed version, type fixed. The angle is just going to be 90. And we'll do a repeat of 2, just so to see if it works. That's not repeat, that's speed. Okay, close this. Make sure my consoles are set up. Got type fixed. Okay. Alright. That should work. Asterisk. Angle to be aimed. So one of the things that Xun has is an aimed angle mode. Like in ECL, what I could do is like aim, or like, you know, angle underscore aimed. And what this would do is it would set the initial shot angle to the creation coordinates from ECL, and since it's actually right here, so the object that we create is just sitting here on 200, 200, 100. That's the source coordinates of ECL. So it's basically going to get from there to the player and set that as the initial angle. So it could be, you know, like 95 point whatever, and it's going to set that if you use angle aimed. You can also use angle aimed underscore away, and it'll actually aim 180 degrees away. There's a few aim types like that, which I kind of put here. Then you have aim gap, which actually will aim at the player, but it'll ensure that the player is in between the middle of a gap of shots. And that's one thing I'm trying to figure out how to implement. It shouldn't be too bad. I'm just wondering how to pass the player angle, or the player object, to the code. I think there's an add pattern type that does this. I think it's like add pattern B3 or something. Okay, there we go. So this is basically Suwako shot type here. And it works just fine. But yeah, like as an example, if this were, you know, the aimed type, or if I wouldn't need the aimed. Because these would need to aim at the player when they, like if this were, you know, go this way, right? Zen combines the style with the aim type. Oh, so like circle aimed. Or, you know, fan aimed or whatever. I don't know why I thought he did it this way. And this is how I did it in my UCL. And it was fine in DNH because it's pretty easy to get the angle to the player. But yeah, I'm trying to think, like, let's say this ring goes out like that and then it all goes towards the player. It's going to get that to here and then apply it here. So I wonder if, because if you did aimed, the aimed type would just be the, like, I don't know, I think the Cherno shots or whatever. They'd go out and then just all of them would aim right here. This one, that one, all these would go right here. As opposed to them all just being set to this angle. So I'm wondering if I could implement that into this. So on the Ang mod, you would set it to the player. I could do like a fixed aimed, maybe. So at a fixed aim, but have to get the initial point. It would be a different thing. It would be a different thing. Because you would need to, like I said, pass down the initial point, get the angle from that to the player, and then set all the shots to that. Since this is happening since this value is like static when you create the ECL pattern, like if I were to do this, so let's make that like 90, right? And then the angle right here, if I made this, you know, get angle to player. I think getting angle to player requires, I never use this function anymore. That requires, it does require a value. Which is the object, okay, that's right. So you want to get only a player, the object. Like if I did that, it's pretty much going to just, it's probably just going to go straight down. Yeah, okay. I need to have it reset that. Well, it won't. Okay, so yeah, that's the problem. Let me make this, like... So they're coming for the player, but now if I come up here, they're all going in that initial angle. So it's like, it's hard set as soon as it's created. And if I were to change that even down here, it sets it when it's, essentially when it's created. If I were to modify it. And it would actually set the next one, unless I created it before ETON was called. So it wouldn't be perfect. I would have to create a fixed ang. I think I would have to do a fixed version. That will come later. A little bit more complicated. Not much, but it's a little bit more. So now we'll do the aimed one. And the ang mod in this one is just going to add or subtract from the player's coordinate based on an angle. So if you do +5, it'll miss the player by 5 degrees, basically. Alright, let's go down here. And mod. Gotta undo this. You don't need that anymore. Now this one, every time when it gets actually into the code, we're gonna do the math for the aim. So it'll work fine. But I'm gonna have to figure out how to get the angle. I'm gonna need to reference some code. OBJ move. I believe. Oops, I always do that. I feel like it's one of the move pattern B's, or like an aimed move pattern. Base Y. Where's base? Lock. That's the actual move object. So this is something that's getting passed down via something else. Is that A3? A2? There it is. Share pointer object move. It's there too. Let's see. This is a move object function. Add pattern. I mean, there might not be one that does this. I feel like there is. Oh, it's A4. Okay, I knew there was one. Is there an A for... There it is. I just missed it. Base object ID. Move pattern A. That's actually kind of overloaded, I think. Or whatever. Base object. That's got to be where it is. Because if it exists, we should set the angle plus that. So this is what I need, is I need to somehow get the player object down here. Can I call it from package? Let's see. That's the parser, I want that. Package. So just get player ID. I don't want to have to push an object ID to it, though that would honestly be the best solution, because you just do player ID. But then I'd have to add a new angmod function. I wouldn't be able to, like, just have it done automatically if I did that. I would need a new angmod. Thinking. Let me see if this can be called, because this is actually gonna, I think, pull into the object object table. What is this lock thing? I have no idea what this lock is. Auto base obj.lock. Weak pointer. The easiest solution is just to make a new add pattern. Because then I'd like have like back here, I'd have the, you know, object render or whatever. Man, it's so easy when you have DNH and just do get player ID. I might be able to do that. I might. I don't know where it would be. How to get it. Because it's basically, it pulls a pointer from the object table. It's going to point to the player class. And if I can get that, I mean, I may as well just point straight to the player class. Like, that's probably here somewhere. Let's see. I'm pretty sure there's like a get player ID right there. DNH array get player ID. Oh, they actually pushed it to the thing. There is a package get player ID. Okay, see, this might be what I need here. Oh, that's exactly where it was. Okay, so that might be what I need then, is package get player ID. I just need to get the coordinates from that. Let me see how this leads. That's actually the script. Script info. This is just generic script info. Okay, ID. That's a string? I don't know what a W string is. So I'm familiar with getting objects from the table in some ways, because you have to get them in order to actually push things down. Because, like, I know the object ID right here. Object equals create, and then this actually gives you a pointer to the object, where you can then add that to it. And then this actually gets put into the object table. Well, whenever I create the ECL storage, it gets put in the object table. Get player object ID. Yeah, get player object ID. I'm afraid that like I'm gonna use it and it's not gonna work. So I'm trying to find like a method where it's just gonna work. So I may need to. Okay. Let me see what this returns. Package get player object. What is this? Error type. Okay, it's a shared pointer. So if I do... Is there anything here? Okay, I can get values from it. Get move F, get move Y. Okay, that might be all I need. Okay. So I'm gonna push this down here. Actually, what is... Well, yeah. Can I do that? Expect an expression. Oh. Alright, because that's just initializing it. When I come over here to here. Auto, yeah, great. Auto is not allowed here. I didn't think so, okay. This is a what, again? Nullable shared pointer? So what would this be? How do I push the object ID down? Can I just get the ID and get the player object later? It's no member, okay. Where's the ID? Search the entire solution for this. Where is it? This is actually going to get me the ID from the object table, and then I should be able to get it from there. So let's see if I can do that. And that's in auto player get player object. Player get ID. That seems excessive, but that would give me an integer. Do I have to like initialize it as a bstorm nullable shared pointer? Okay, hold on, let me try something really crazy, because again, I have no idea what I'm doing. This may or may not work. Probably will not work. Because this gives me what I need, but I can't get it down here. It tells me this is a nullable shared pointer. Is that valid? No. Oh, okay. OBJ player. Why did you do that? Okay, it seems happy. Okay, it seems happy. And we'll come over here and do the same thing. Okay, got it. HVP. It's really silly you have to do this. For some reason, this like is if you include, it gets like a mess. But like even Neraplum does this, where he just like initializes blank classes, and then it's like, oh, okay, it's fine, and it doesn't complain, and then everything's fine, even though you just initialize like object over everything, and it's like, I don't know. It's weird, but it works, and there's no issues. It's probably like wrong. I'm sure someone would yell at me for doing that, but I mean, I don't know any better, unfortunately. Alright, set acceleration. That's fine. What we want to do is set the angle to, and what we'll need to do is get the X and Y. We'll actually have to do angle math here. That's ATN 2, I think. Oh. The mouse is invisible on the other screen. Uh-oh. I'm pretty sure it's ATN 2. Let me just figure out. I think it's target and then source for the X's and the Y's. Oh, I just need to make sure. Internet, come on, there you go. Math functions, ATN2. Slowly but surely. Wait a second. I have it right here. It's right here. This will be the angle, which I could actually technically use basically this code. I'm in the wrong place. I need to be in CPP. Whenever we actually modify the angle, pattern angmod plus this angle. So move Y. This is going to be our actual object, our ACL mode. And this is going to be our player object. So I need to do player ID get X Y. I'm sorry. It's probably not going to say anything until I'm done with it. Here, our player ID is undefined. Player ID is undefined. I don't need to set it up here. Okay. Why? Why? Player ID, it's right there. ECL mode. Because that's here. Oh, because this... needs to be here, I think. It's just in this thing. So I'll have a pat player ID, which will need to be set here. Pat player ID. Eh? What do you mean? What am I missing? Oh, there it is. It fixed it. Okay. That's... no? What the heck? I put that in the wrong place. Am I in? Uh-oh. Aha. Forgot one part. Pointer to incomplete class type not allowed. What is our incomplete class type? Oh, it's the player. Ugh. Gosh dang it. I think I just gotta push down the object ID. I can't push the pointer because this assumes that this exists, but it doesn't exist. So this has to be an integer from get player object ID, and then I just have to get it from the object table in the code. I think that's all I can do. Now, is this going to give me... That's going to return 1. Actually, how do I get the object ID? Player get ID. Okay. Okay. So here, API... When this goes through, it doesn't need to push that. It needs to get this, and then it needs to do player ID, get ID. I'm gonna change this. Okay, it's gonna be just do that. The PTR get ID. Okay, and that returns an integer? That's not what I wanted to do. Maybe it is, hold on. Return ID is an integer, okay. So now it's just going to return an int. Int pet player ID. And get rid of that. Everything's very delicate in source, because it's just things and things. It may not be a good idea to use a shared pointer there anyway, for reasons. Shared pointers are kind of interesting. So int, player ID. Okay, and now to get the obj move data from that. How do we do that? Get player object ID. Here's the ID, and then what do I do from there? Let me look up everything with ID in it. I don't know how to get more than that. I don't know what functions I can use. Oh boy. Let me look in... I just have to go through package. Yeah, that's so much. Why? How? What? Oh, I searched a bracket. I'm gonna search a bracket. Please search all. Thank you. Okay, match everything here. Okay. This isn't really helping. I'm trying to... Okay, how do I get a pointer from the object table? I feel like I know how to do this, because I've done it before. Yeah, because when you're pushing new things to it, you gotta get it. Set data. Let's move. I won't move. ECL definition, get definition, ECL storage. Make shared. Okay. It's right here. Get object. Okay. I'm overcomplicating this horribly. I need this. It's like I know I've done this before. It just kind of hit me. Back to CPP. So I have that ID passed down. Now all I need to do is make sure that I have it in here. I should just return it. I'll just do it here. That's fine. Package undefined. Excellent. This needs to be player ID. Well, get of type obj player. Actually, gosh dang it. Okay. I don't think I need to get package in here. This is what I was afraid of. It's like it's a simple thing, but it's so isolated way over here in its own little CPP world that I don't know how to actually pass this down here. And see, that's a nullable shared pointer. Has to do it right here. Base object.log. Auto base. Where's our BJ move HPP? This is how everything is done. It's just fumbling through and just figuring it out. So I forget what this base thing is called. That's move pattern A. It is a weak pointer to obj move. Maybe that's what I need to do, is make a weak pointer. So I'm still not familiar with the shared pointer. So I kind of know what a shared pointer does, where as soon as the shared pointer is out of any scope, it gets deleted, the object it's referring to. Whereas a weak pointer, I think, when the pointer goes out of scope, it doesn't delete the object. Like it doesn't count as a reference. Get player X, get player Y. Yeah, you just made a really good point. However, if I wanted to do the method of call an object ID, I'll still need to know how to do this. But that is a good, quick fix. That way I'm not here for the next, like 3 hours. Because I need to go to bed very soon. As soon as I get done with this, I'm probably going to kick it. Okay, let me find those, just to make sure they're going to, like, work. Well, you know, I can just call it and see if it works. I've seen it. I don't know if I have to use package. Get player X, get player Y. Okay, it doesn't look like it, but let me find where those are. They're an API. Package get player object. Yeah, I need to reference package. So if I did get player X, get player Y, I would need to have package in here. Which I don't think. But I don't have to, like, include it, right? Because I shouldn't have to. How do I get... I don't think I have anything referencing outside. Like, this is all isolated. Other than these few things references here. Which I do have object move. I may have to do that weak pointer thing. I may just have to copy what Nerplum did for this with the weak pointer. I still don't know what lock does. I have no clue. That's a built-in thing. Base is the weak shared pointer. And then it gets the X and Y here. I don't know what lock does. I think I just have to do that. I'm gonna try that. Because I can't reference package. But I can reference an move object. I do have package here. Okay, let me go back to trying this other thing. Where is package referenced? Package and package. Oh. Package and package. Wait a second. That's in the API. I don't know if I can do that in the API. Thinking. Again, I'm not that familiar with pointers. It's in ECL storage. A pointer to the package. Because, like, I know this makes a pointer. And then doing it by itself, I never really had to do, because I usually do it up there. Can I get ECL storage from here? Yeah, this is where I need just a little bit more knowledge, because I haven't messed with it a whole lot yet. But get player X and Y would work. So I don't. It knows where it knows it's a type. I don't. Incomplete type is not allowed. Because that's just getting that, and then that's exactly what I need is to reference this. I don't know what I'm doing. Fumbling with a basic problem. It's in EC. Can I reference ECL storage? Can I get to ECL? I don't think I can, because it's all isolated. How do I get the player X and Y from thecl.cpp? Let me try the weak pointer thing. Let me just try it. This will be in, I guess the move pattern. Just like where he has it. The move mode. Well, no, this is the move pattern. I could put it in could put it in here. I'll call it target object. That needs to change too, so I need to go back to API and see what it gets set to. Base obj ID. Yeah, I'll just need to add a new part to this. Ah, that's so unfortunate. I really don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. Oh, hold on. Can't do that. Player ID. Still an int, because it's still an int here. Over here in CBP, this needs to be wait, pointer, target object, player ID. Okay, and then I need to I'm losing a little bit here. Auto base obj.lock. Okay, that's going to be target j, which is okay. Okay, it's all kind of coming together. Let's hope this works. Base. Incomplete class type is not allowed. Because this is an OBJ move, it's not an incomplete class type. Oh no! Oh, I'm failing horribly. We clicky, very clicky. This is the extra clicky edition, and it's only going to get more clicky. Okay, this is not going to work because it's not a complete class type. It's not going to be. There's got to be some other way to get these values. Because, like, the thing is, like, realistically, when the code is running, like, it would be fine. Because, like, oh, I'm pointing to something that exists. But, like, if that doesn't exist, then it's, I don't know what happened. So I think that, like, error is, since it's incomplete, I can't point to it. But there is a definition, it's just not here, because I have this blank one here. So it's pointing to this one, not the actual one. I like, it's... I wish I knew what I was doing. Let's just say that. It's like, hypothetically, I feel like this would work if it would compile, but it's not going to compile. I guess it wouldn't compile because it doesn't make sense. And I'm not going to, like, maybe I could add, like, dummy values here just to get it to work, but it probably would still just not work. It's a band-aid fix. There's got to be a way to do this in some way that I'm just not getting. So I don't know how to do the aim type. I don't know how to do the aim type. It's becoming very complicated just getting values from something. Because if I was like aiming towards another ECL move object, like it'd be fine. If I was aiming towards the ECL storage container, whatever position that's at, it doesn't even have a position, but like, it's not an incomplete class type. So, like, it would be fine. Let me see. Because, see, like, Neraplum cheats here, too. Like, he has render here, he has shot data here, and they're not defined here. But they're used as, like, a piggyback. Let me see if I have another example. Especially some of these, like, does OBJ shot do it? Oh, I need an HTTP piece, don't I? Like this stuff. It's like, it's here, this is not where it's defined. So I'm not sure how to get that pointer to work. It's not gonna work. And I don't think it can work. I think it's too isolated from everything else to get the position over there. At least, you know, to update the position, to actually pull it. Because it's not integrated with the move stuff. Even though I can use OBJ move functions? So there's this. Oh, that's... hold on. That's not my code. See, I'm just not even referencing it anywhere. It's all so isolated. I really think this is just here so that I can, like... Do I even need that? This is pointless, I think. I think I had that initially and now I don't need it anymore. It's a miracle this whole thing even works at all. Okay, I don't know how to do the aim type. I'm gonna call that a loss and a future future research. Because it's just, I don't know how to get... I can get the ID. The problem is if I can give the positions here, but the positions aren't going to update when it needs to move. Because it updates right here. So here's where it needs to update. It needs to pull the positions right here. And I don't know how to do that here. I don't want to include, because if I include, it's just going to shove all that code on top and I'm going to get more errors. I learned that the hard way. This is not D&H. You don't just include things. So, yeah, I don't know. But that's that. I mean, the other two work just fine. I just don't know how I'm going to do that aimed one. I have no... Did music just skip? Was that in the file? Cool. Good render. Whoever recorded that, good job. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to be able to do the aim mode. Maybe I can do something else. What else do I have on the to-do list that might be quick? Because I really, really have to go to bed. I have to be up in... what? 7 hours? Almost 6 at this point? Really, really should go to bed. I got a long day tomorrow. Oh, man. I still have a lot to learn about C++. I think I've gotten to grasp a lot of things, but a lot of just the memory, like, management part of it, not memory, but like variable, is becoming very complicated, because I feel like this cheaty thing is not right. I feel like this isn't necessary. I feel like this is bad form, but I really don't know. Battling the C++ monster stream, yeah. That's the next title. The C++ boss. Attempt number 1. It's like, this is the Dark Souls of programming. Not really, it is for me. Just learning, and then you finally get it, and you're like, oh, that only took like 7 hours fighting gargoyles. Okay, I think that's gonna be it. I don't have anything else I can do that would be quick. Other than gravity. Gravity would probably be pretty quick. Well, ping pong might be easy. No, I need to call it. I need to call it. Reflect should be pretty easy. It would just need the border, or like the stage maximum minimum things, everything. I can barely think. I am so tired. Orbit, that's going to be a hard one. Because it's going to need to create a new object and then shots around it, as opposed to it just being a transformation. These will be interesting because I'm going to have to actually create new shots from a shot. That'll be fun. Delete, super easy. Play with object, probably also super easy. Okay. I'm going to have to somehow pass package down to this. I'm going to have to get a pointer to package into this. That's going to be the thing I have to figure out. I'll probably figure that off stream. How to pass that package down, because if I have that package and I get the functions from it, I can do anything, because then I can get the player ID, I can get the any object ID, I can get positions, and yada yada, I can do anything. I can just pass the package down without including it. I cannot include it. Armor, not out blend, that's all just going to be variables. Ugh. Well, I'm glad I got at least those done. This is like the core of Touhou, is SP up Engvel and Engmod. Well, fixed and relative. Like, you can do... I want to be like kind of crazy and say like 80% of all Touhou patterns is just these. Because most of them are just these. There's not a lot that gets really fancy. Like, you could do... I'm trying to think of ones you can't do. It'd be like... card from Touhou 12's Extra, where like the lasers kind of go forward and they split apart and then go around and then form into lasers again. Like, you can't do that with these. Maybe if you were really creative you could, but you still need to make lasers. But you can do so much with this. The next ones that are like key are like these: the border, frame, reflect, and then like the basic stuff here. But so much you can do with just that. So much. You can make a whole game with just those, and no one will blink an eye, I feel like. Oh, man. Okay. Let me save all this. I'm gonna shut it down. My voice is feeling it, too. Alrighty, guys. I appreciate you watching. Hopefully will stream again not 2 years from now. But no promises. I'm not gonna promise anything, because it's not gonna happen. it most likely won't, but we'll see. I really do want to, because the stream has been comfortable, and as I was saying earlier, comfortable is important. I don't have to like set up 800 things and like test for 3 hours to make sure everything works. Hopefully it'll just be as simple as push a button and we're good to go, and I'm ready. I don't have to do anything fancy, crazy. So, alrighty, guys, take it easy. I will see you guys at some point, hopefully soon. And really, it's going to play the ending. It's going to play this. I guess that's fitting. That's a way to end it. Alright, take it easy, guys.